Hello, welcome to Courageous Consciousness. I'm DJ Gallup, and today I wanted to talk about acceptance, and particularly acceptance of loved ones, friends, family members, and coworkers who are making bad decisions in their lives. And really, a little bit more specifically, bad decisions when it comes to their health and well-being. This has been a really common theme in my life in the past few years. I have a lot of friends as well as some family members who just seem to be kind of hell-bent on making bad decisions, particularly related to their health. And what I think a lot of these people don't understand is that it's not just their health that is being affected. Their bad decisions also affect the welfare of the people around them in their lives. And as healers and as spiritually inclined people, of course, we want to go on in and we want to run in and we want to help these people. But we also have to realize that there are really times where we have to step back and accept things. Now, before I get any further into this video, I did want to make a couple of quick points. And number one is that I am not coming to this from a place of judgment. So when I'm saying bad decisions, I'm not saying bad decisions from a place of judgment. I know that sounds like it could be judgmental. What I mean when I say bad decisions is I'm seeing people in my life who are making decisions that are negatively affecting their health or well-being. And so to me, that is a bad step. It is not a healthful or healthy step in their lives. The other thing I wanted to point out before I get any further into this video is that I am well aware that I am not perfect, and none of us are. None of us make every last healthy choice in our lives. You know, as a specific example, obviously you can probably see I'm an overweight guy, and you know what? I try to eat healthfully. I try and do good things for my body. I exercise pretty frequently and things. However, some days I'm coming home from work and I stop at Taco Bell. So I don't always make perfect decisions for me either. So once again, I'm not really trying to come to this from a place of judgment. But then again, I'm also in a state of good health where I have a lot of friends and family members who are not. And where this really came into the forefront for me was yesterday. I had stopped over at a friend's house, and this friend has been in ill health for some years, and he has a lot of health issues, and I won't get into every health issue because that's his business. But he is in and out of the hospital very regularly. I would say in a given month, this particular friend is probably in and out of the hospital at least once, maybe twice. And most of the times that he's going into the hospital, it's because of some self-created issue. So it's either because of the fact that he's been a lifelong smoker, he's just a chain smoker, or because of the way he's using all of his prescription medications and sometimes overutilizing his prescription medications. And so I stopped over at my friend's house yesterday to kind of check up on him, and he was in a really bad state. He was just in his bed watching TV. You can tell he was in quite a lot of pain from a variety of different issues. But there he is in bed, smoking away on his cigarettes, and all throughout his sheets you could see burn holes. This particular friend, he has so many issues that he actually has even trouble grasping onto the cigarette between his fingers. And many times I've seen him actually drop his cigarettes onto the floor or onto his body, where he's then, of course, burnt himself. So all over his body, he has burn marks from cigarettes. And it's so difficult to see someone in this position because I know my friend. I'm so sensitive to energy that I know that this friend, if he were willing to make some positive changes in his life, he would have a much better health outcome. I really don't think that he's actually at the end of his life, even though I think in his mind he thinks he's at the end of his life. But he keeps making these bad decisions. He keeps continuing to smoke. And where it really hit me was actually seeing the look on his mother's face, because his mother was there. They lived together. And his mother is an elderly woman. And she just had this look of complete and total exhaustion on her face. It was beyond tired. It was pure exhaustion. She's an elderly woman, and she has been taking care of her son for years and years and years, even though most of the health problems that he has are self-created, and everyone is really aware of that. And in my opinion, I think it's only a matter of time before he burns down the house with both of them in it. So it's really, really difficult for me to see this. And then I have another friend who I reconnected with recently, and I've known this friend for years and years. And she is on a number of medications, depression, anxiety medications, things like that. But at the same time, she's also self-medicating with alcohol. And I'm really starting to see all of the negative effects in her life from her combining the medications and the alcohol. But yet, once again, she's not willing to make the positive changes in her life to get her on a more healthful track. And that is really our difficulty. And I assume if you're watching my channel here, you're either at least spiritually inclined, or you're on some sort of spiritual path. Or maybe you, like me, are a healer. Maybe you do Reiki or healing touch or hands-on healing of some variety, or aromatherapy or whatever else. And for those of us who are in this line of work or on this spiritual path, when we see people in our lives who are going through so much suffering, especially so much self-created suffering, we just want to run right in and help. Isn't that true? I think we all do. We just want to go in and we want to, give them the resources they need, give them the support they need, help them quit smoking, help them stop drinking, whatever it is that is negatively affecting them. We want to go in and help and, be the, part of the source of their well-being. However, it is really important sometimes to take a step back from our desire to do that. And it is really, really important in cases like this to sometimes just learn acceptance. And I know that that can be a really hard lesson for us to learn, but it's a really important spiritual lesson for us to learn. Because in my healing practice, when people come to me and they desire better health, or in the case, maybe they have bad muscular problems from posture or things, I love helping people on their path to wellness. Nothing gives me greater pleasure in my life than helping people on their path to wellness. However, when people are not willing or capable of making positive changes in their life, it is not our role to step in and try and make those positive changes for them. We can only help people make positive changes when they themselves are ready to make the positive changes in their lives. And this is a really, really bitter pill to swallow. So my suggestion is, if you have friends or family members or coworkers who are in a position kind of like this, learning acceptance is a really, really great place to be. And certainly there are a number of great meditations out there that you can find that will help you learn and develop your acceptance. But the other thing we want to consider as well is we also don't want to come to things from a place of not loving. We want to still live in a place of unconditional love for these friends and family members. And that is not always an easy thing to do, because even though I'm trying very hard not to judge my friends, it can be a very natural feeling that comes up to judge your friends and family members who keep making these decisions, these poor decisions, over and over and over again. But we have to, as much as we can, look for the light in the darkness. We have to see that that person is beautiful and wonderful just as they are. And if they're not willing to make the changes necessary to improve their health, we just have to accept that that is where they are on their path right now. But I will say one caveat to this, in my opinion, is when that person is making decisions that could be harmful to other people. And in that case, we do have to try and step in, because it is one thing to do things that are self-destructive. Certainly, if you are making decisions that are self-destructive, it's not great. Certainly, it is going to affect other people around them for sure. However, as long as they're just doing their self-destructive behavior and they're not willing to change, we're not going to be able to go in and change them. However, when they are making decisions that are negatively affecting other people or may endanger other people, at that point, there are times where we have to lovingly step in and try and change some behavioral patterns, because certainly it's a completely different thing when they are willing to harm someone else in the process of their self-destruction. And at that point, we may need to call in professional help for sure and do whatever we need to do to ensure that they are not going to hurt other people as well. So I'm going to try and keep the video as short as possible today, but just remember that if you have friends or family members, loved ones, who are going through struggles like this, where they are on this self-destructive path toward, doing things that are bad for their health, you know what? It is not always our job to run in and save things. Sometimes we just need to be in a place of acceptance and love and just accept that person for where they are now on their path and wish them well along their way. So thank you so much for watching. I'm going to be making regular videos, so of course I always really appreciate it if you leave a comment, if you hit the like button, and certainly if you subscribe to my page. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.